Okay. So I'm going to talk about Introduction to Termux, which is yeah, my voice is always too soft. Did we hook up the room mic? Testing 1 2 1 2 1 2. Testing 1 2 1 2 testing 1 2 1 2 2 testing. Okay. So here we go. I am Zach. I'm going to be talking about Introduction to Termux. Is this good volume for everyone? Okay, good. So Introduction to Termux and other Linux environments on Android and or Chrome devices. So basically, what these are applications that run on Android that allow you to run Linux-like commands. Um, and not only Linux-like commands, but it's also a Linux environment. It's not entirely, um, it's, it's a little bit of a weird hybrid, which I'll get into in a moment, but that's what it is. Um, my email, my Twitter is up there. For legal, yeah, this is just my sort of own content because basically I borrowed a lot of content off the web. Hopefully, everything is going to be kosher. Yep, no worries. Exiting mirror mode. We're going to figure this out in a second. Okay. It says it's mirroring, and we're back. Okay. Okie dokie. Okay. So if you happen to have an Android device, uh, there's a couple of different ways to get this working. I'll be talking about this in a second. Um, there, because there's official stores and unofficial stores, and I'll talk about that more in a minute. So this is what we're going to be just talking about. Uh, just briefly, who I am. Um, about Termux. Termux is sort of the first application that I saw in the Play Store, which is Android's marketplace for applications that allows you to run Linux as an application on Android devices. We'll talk about F-Droid, which is an alternative marketplace to the Play Store, the difference between F-Droid and Android and the Android Play Store is that the F-Droid is only open source software that they have on there. So it's completely free to use and install and all that good stuff. And it's just sort of a different philosophy than the Play Store, where it's a little bit more market based. So, excuse me. We'll also talk about the Chromium OS Linux experience. So, um, for my laptop here, I have a Chromebook, which is it's it's a okay device. Like I, so even though I'm have all of these Android-like devices, like I like the Play Store, but it's not like it's a like I like the Google's platform, but it's not like I'm married to it. Like iPhone is also nice. All the other things are also nice. It's just what devil you want to deal with. But on the plus side, Android does have Linux, so we'll be talking more about that. Um, it's going to be about an hour conversation. When I gave this presentation at the Fredericksburg Lug, we actually went for the full 2 hour time period, but there was a lot of interaction between people, so uh, like it's sort of going to sort of depend. So we'll see how far we get. So as far as who I am, um, I'm a forensic database engineer type person, which is fun. A web identity specialist, and I like playing with Raspberry Pis and kite photography. So, um, yeah, I like different skills. And also, I'm not a Linux administrator. I do not claim to be one. If you sort of put me and say secure this box, I have no clue what I'm doing. I can secure some things, but like there's people that actually know what they're doing. Use them instead. So, and with that caveat, like I'm going to talk about Termux from the user perspective as compared to like the more lower level the things which I have a feeling you sort of need to know. Sorry about that. So, because of the fact that I am not a Linux administrator, I'm going to talk about Termux from sort of the higher level application user level perspective as compared to more of the lower level type interactions. Termux is a user level Android application that allows you to run Android or Linux commands in an on an Android device. So basically what it is it's a application that you run like Google Maps or any of the other applications, and as long as that application is running, you have a Linux environment on your device. It's not Linux, as in there's a couple of things that you sort of expect in the Linux environment that are not there. So, for instance, you only have one user, and single user mode is not really for securing things. That's not really the best way to do things. So there's a couple of gotchas like that. But with that said, you can still do some interesting things. Termux, the application, is available in the Android Play environment as well as F-Droid. I'll talk more about F-Droid explicitly later. The good thing about Termux is that you do not have to root your device to get Android to run, or Linux to run. And the other solutions I'm going to be talking about are also the same way, where you don't have to root the device to get Linux to run. Now, that does mean that you are slightly limited as to what you can accomplish from the hardware level and the user permission again, but otherwise it works reasonably well. As far as Termux go, it's loosely based upon Debian, but it's not exactly Debian, so it's a special case Linux environment, if that makes sense. And I'm going to briefly go to the Termux webpage just so you can sort of see how they're advertising it. And we do have a lot of good documentation. Reasonably readable? Cool. So, they have the links to the two pages. They have the wiki, which I would like to highlight here. The cool thing about the wiki is when you go to the wiki is that you have a ton of documentation as to how to use the application, the software and hardware that it runs on, all of the type of things that you can do. You also have add-ons. The interesting thing about add-ons, at least with Termux, is that like you can do sort of interesting things within the Android environment that are outside of Linux. So if you want to be able to access your Android's hardware, you can do that from within Termux with the appropriate plugin installed. So that's sort of cool. And I'll get more to that in a second because I believe the next step is immediate demo. Okay. Okie dokie. So, in case you're wondering, I'm running an application called HTTP Streamer on Android that allows me to run commands and allow you to see my screen while it's essentially copying the screen to the web. So this is Termux. Hopefully you can sort of see the screen. Is it large enough, or should it be a little bit larger? Okay. Is that reasonably big enough? Okay. So we can do like an ls. We can do a more of test.sh. And then we can do bash -x. And it sort of runs as you would expect a normal shell command to run. You have a question? What? Yes. They changed the path since last time. Yes, I can. I can go to cd to slash. Yes. Interesting. Yep. Cannot mount touch read only system. If I do just touch, yeah, it is. Yep. Sudo, yeah, that's not a command. Or let me rephrase. It is a command, but you can't do it in this environment. If we do an ID, it shows this very weird user ID. Whoops, I'm sorry about that. I don't think I can. Come on. Typing is hard. Yeah, no package sudo. So I can't sudo to su. Yeah. No su program found in this device. Well, there is ways of doing it, like, yeah. Yeah. pkg install tsu. Sure. Permission denied. Okay. But it's all good. It's a environment that you would expect. The caveat here is that it doesn't have build essentials installed. So you can't, and also the build essentials package is actually under the unstable directory. So there's definitely caveats here. One of the reasons why is because the build essentials is expecting a different processor than what um, the Android devices come with. So it doesn't exactly run, so it's more on the unstable side. The other thing that, let's see here. So like one of the things I wanted to do was like get Perl working, get DBI working, and get SQLite running. Because if you can do that, you can basically run a web page. I couldn't get that to work the last time I tried to do that. Gotcha. I'm going to try I know. I'm going to try doing it more like this, and hopefully this is a little bit better. Okay. Yeah, it's my voice is naturally soft, so I do appreciate that it's a little bit hard at times. Okay. Um, yes. It's so the question was, do files stay resident? And the answer is maybe. So, well, so let me explain what I mean here. The interesting thing about this environment is that I'm going to exit out of this, and I'm going to bring up the Termux, and I'm going to uninstall it. And like that, I no longer have Termux installed in my environment. Now I'm going to go to the Play Store and reinstall for just a second here. And there is a valid reason why I'm doing this too. You can do it, computer. You can do it, computer. Okay. Okay, so it just reinstalled itself. And as expected, when you run ls, it shows no files. That's correct. That's correct. However, they do have a convenient feature. Termux, if you type Termux dash and then a tab, it shows you these other things. If you do Termux setup storage,